All right, we're back for episode 67. And as always, we've got Gunny Matheson, Joe Schmidt, and today we've got Kole Price as our guest. And today's a little bit different kind of a show. A little bit, kind of a different situation for all of us. We're here to talk a little bit about what happened to Brandon Brant and his facility in Belle Center, Ohio. And I know, Kole, you just got back from there. And tell us what you saw, what you run into.
Honestly, the barn looked like, I think the best way to describe it, looked like a campfire the next morning. I mean, there's not much left of it. It's just pretty much all on the ground. It's amazing that a big metal building could bend and fold like that. I mean, there's nothing left.
Yeah, and I think that's everybody's fear, right? I mean,
Well,
all of us.
You went up there to support your friend. That's why you went up there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there was nothing that I could do, mainly because I'm not handy at all. I just went there to be with Brandon. I mean, he's one of my best friends, and I know that he would do anything if I was in that situation, so I just felt like I needed to be there with him and him and his family, and, I mean, it was tough.
Yeah, brutal. And I don't think, like for all of us as horsemen and horse trainers, I feel like it's the bricks and mortar is not, they didn't have anything to do with it. It's about losing the animals. I mean, we all have a bond. We all, and here a little bit, we're going to call Brandon. And I know I talked to him earlier today too. And, I know he wanted to have the opportunity to thank everybody for what they're doing. So we'll get him on the phone here in a little while. But, I know it's our fear. And I know, Mandy and I don't know how many years ago it was, maybe 10 years ago now, drove up on fire at Todd Summers' place. And we were driving by and there was nobody there. And Mandy and I were the first ones there. And we got a couple of horses out. But after that, it's not my goal was to get them all out. But you cannot. I mean, it's not like with that smoke and stuff, it's not like holding your breath underwater. I mean, I thought, okay, I can get two more. I can just hold my breath and run in there, and you just can't.
No. I think besides and good instincts on the groom when they smelt the smoke, and her first reaction was to untie luckily it was his two good 3-year-olds that he had just ridden. They were getting iced in the wash rack, and she untied them and let them outside and pretty much turned them loose. And besides that, I don't think there was an option to get horses out. I mean, Brandon said the amount of smoke, the black smoke was so thick. And I mean, I don't know exactly what it did, if it hit a gas line, but it blew up. And that's why Eric from what I was told, he tried to go in and it threw him out. There was no chance of getting horses out. I mean,
Eric Priest is in the hospital right now with second and third degree burns. He got thrown out of the building.
That's what Brandon said. Like they were on the outdoor pen, and his outdoors probably 100 yards away, a little more maybe. And when they seen the white smoke coming from the front of the building, they took off sprinting. And by the time they got to the barn, there was no chance of getting in. Yeah. It just blew up. And
did they know what caused it?
So the front of the barn had apartments, and they think probably electrical in the front in the attic, and just kind of what we kind of put together. It's not, not for sure, but they think it got in the spray foam, older spray foam, I guess. And it took off like a dry Christmas tree, and then it just went, and then I think it hit some sort of gas line, and the whole place. Brandon said it took about 10 minutes for that place to be gone.
Wow.
Gone.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable, and nothing anybody could do about anything. And
I think it was so much. I don't even think luckily the horses, I don't think suffered. I think it
went so fast, so hot,
and it was over with. And I couldn't imagine being in that situation where you just got to step back and go, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, you're helpless.
Let it go, luckily everybody, Eric's got third degree burns, but nobody was killed or anything like that. Very fortunate in that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it could have been so much worse.
yes, it could have.
But I know we've all lost sleep after this deal. And I mean, that day I'm talking to Tom for 10 minutes on researching fire suppressant systems of different natures.
Yeah, get an Ansel system put in like a restaurant.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, tomorrow I've got somebody coming to my house tomorrow to talk to us about early detection systems and fire sprinklers and the whole 9 yards. And
To be honest with you, I think in that situation, I don't think it would have mattered.
wouldn't have mattered.
Nope.
No,
it
for
was
sure not.
that. It was that. I mean, they showed me videos of the black smoke, and I guarantee you couldn't even seen in the barn. It was that much
Yeah.
smoke.
But for sure, it wouldn't have mattered. But if there's one person in an office somewhere
sure.
that hears it and gets outside and it saves their
Yeah.
life, then it's
absolutely,
worth all the money
absolutely.
that
Me
you
and
spend.
Kelsey were talking about hanging up more fire extinguishers. I mean, pretty much got to have, just like in school, you got to have protocol.
Yeah, that's a great point, Gunny. I mean, it's not even about saving the facility. It's about if you can get one person
sure.
out,
For sure.
Yeah.
then that's a big deal. And I think that's not the norm. What happened there? I mean, I think that was just a perfect mix of everything going wrong. The older insulation, and I don't know, if they use gas for something else, but I'm sure the gas was for heaters in the winter. And
I think it was shut off, but I mean, there's still gas condensation or propane condensation, and it don't take much. Brandon said he thinks probably once it got in the arena where there was open space with enough oxygen, and it just went.
yeah,
And doesn't he have a lot of creosote boards in the fence and stalls and stuff? That stuff burns fast and crazy.
So the crazy thing that's still mind-boggling to me is it was a steel building, and I mean the indoor everything was built pretty much lean-tos off of the indoor, and it's enclosed. So if you think about it, it's pretty much like an oven. But I mean those metal beams were melted on the ground, and the guy that comes and does all the investigations said that for those beams to melt, it had to be 2,500 degrees.
yeah, that's
just,
incredible.
I mean, you think about your oven being 300, 400. I mean, that's
2,500.
that's just insane. It was hard. I tell you, even like yesterday. I mean, for some odd reason, I mean, emotionally, like I'm on the plane, I just got very angry, and I don't know, And then on the drive there, you're just preparing yourself. I mean, there's a moment where you're gonna have to break down and cry. I mean, that's just part of being a good friend, and you got to be there to let that out. And I mean, just seeing a grown man cry will make you cry.
Yeah.
So it was tough, but they're gonna push through. And like I said earlier, the one very, very positive thing that I've learned about this situation is there are so many incredible people in the horse industry.
Yeah, coming together to help.
There's so many good people out there. And
Yeah.
even not in the horse industry, just in the world in general, it's incredible.
No, I was talking to Cooper this morning, and he said there's some shavings guy in Ohio that was wanting to donate, and he's not even close by Belle Center. He's like, man, I just saw it. I just want to donate this stuff. I don't know how to do it, but had nothing to do with Brandon or any of those guys.
And there was neighbors last night that he had never met, bringing over truckloads of hay, and I mean, it's that part's neat to see.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one, it's the horse industry, it's horse lovers in general having a reaction to that many horses dying in a fire, and it's hard to imagine as a horse person and a horse lover. It's hard to imagine all of that happening and going through that, and I think that was for sure a huge part of the response. But the other part of that response to me is you don't run into anybody that has a bad thing to say about Brandon.
Brandon,
No.
I mean, he treats everybody great. He's always nice to everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that was the other part of what got the whole ball rolling on all the help and the support and all of it. So
Yeah, I know. Like yesterday when I was talking to him, he's like, "Man, how do I thank all these people?" I said, "Dude, they're just thanking you for being such an incredible person. this is their opportunity. And there's only one person like Brandon. I mean, you meet him once. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me to go there just because I know if I was in the other, I mean, there was no questions asked, he'd be there for me. So that's just kind of why I felt like when we were at the Redbud School and I got all my stuff moved forward and we went home and slept for a couple hours and got on the earliest flight I could. And last night I slept 3 hours to get back home. And
I'm sure he feels out of place because he's the type of giving person.
For sure.
He's not the type of
This
person
is hard
to
for
take.
him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
everything that everybody's doing for him is probably very awkward for him. But I also think it's very necessary, and he needs to just take a breath and accept it and understand that people are doing this because they want to. Yeah. I mean, we're all going to help them.
I think the hardest thing is, trying to. I told him, I said, I think it's very important you don't try to figure out why.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to know why.
Yeah,
and you're going to beat yourself up. You just got to. It was electrical fire.
It was an accident.
And that's what it was. And I know he felt very guilty that, that happened on his behalf. I said, man, you gave those horses the absolute best life they could have had. I mean, they didn't suffer. I mean, it happens, but that's hard. Like you said, you build a bond. Like, I mean, I could imagine one day going in the stall and seeing like MJ there,
Right.
in a fight. I mean, that would.
Right.
I
would have had to been gone the next day.
No, I could not have been that.
Yeah.
You would not. I'd be out. I could not. That would be hard for me.
Such a gut punch. Like Cade said, it made him sick to his stomach.
It was.
made us all sick.
It was.
to our
Very,
stomachs.
it was. I mean, it was
So
very emotional at the Redbud. I mean, it was silent, and people. I mean, nobody really knew what was going on, and
Well, going back to what you said, him wanting to thank everybody. Let's give him a shout because I told him we'd give him that opportunity tonight to give his thoughts.
And while it's ringing, we're posting links to all the charities, right?
Yes.
Turn your phone up right here.
to the
Watch him not answer.
Hello?
Brandon,
How are you, sir?
good. You got Gunny and Kole and Joe and myself.
Johnny, cool. How are you guys?
We're thinking
happening,
about
man?
you, bud. We're thinking about you.
Hey, thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
the old fashions are gonna come out later.
The old fashions? My drink of choice, gentlemen. Have one for me, please.
Yeah, well, we were just talking about that. We visited earlier, and you were talking about you expressing your gratitude to everybody, and we were just talking about how amazing it has been for the entire to see, not just our industry, but everybody in the horse business. And even you said some of the people, the local people around your area, that have been so gracious and reaching out and trying to be helpful.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was telling a bunch of people, like, a tragedy like this. I mean, this is anybody that has animals. This is the worst tragedy that you could ever think of. A barn fire with these things getting trapped in there, and but something so tragic to have that much good come out of it. The support from, like I said, my friends, family, people in our industry, my neighbors. I mean, when the thing went up in flames, it was really fast. This whole thing was pretty much, I mean, the barn was completely inflamed in probably a matter of 15 minutes. And I mean, there was neighbors coming down the driveway with their bicycles and carts with drinks and Gatorade. The firefighters were rolling in. I mean, these guys put their life on the line for this stuff. Pretty remarkable to see all of that. And it gave me a whole new, deeper appreciation for it, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, you try to find the good in everything. And this type of situation is pretty hard to do, but I definitely would say that is for sure the most incredible thing I've ever seen or witnessed or been aware of, the camaraderie with everybody.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, and for sure not something that we are, not something that anybody is prepared to talk about or prepared to deal with or any of those things. So it was so incredible to me to see everybody jump on board. How you doing now, a couple of days later?
You know, today was probably the roughest day for me because Kole and Sean Johnson, a couple of my buddies were here and they left, and so I drove up to the facility where I took the horses that survived up, and my dad left today, so it was a little tougher day. I'm a little better now, but yeah, I'm doing good. We're gonna be great. Everybody's gonna be great. I just really feel for my customers, Eric Priest and his customers, and that's the part that's really, really a struggle is that part for me, the people that lost their horses, like Eric's customers, my customers, and that's the part that's really, really hard to swallow, right? So yeah. I actually drove by the barn just a minute ago to go to my kid's baseball game. I was in town visiting Eric at the hospital, and I drove by the barn and looked at it, and I was like, it just floored me, like, wow, you see that thing from the road, nothing left really. So, but yeah, you know what, we'll be fine. And like I said, the support of everybody, we're going to be just fine. So, well,
and you got your family was all safe. And at the end of the day, as long as all the people and like you and I talked earlier, it's so hard because of the relationship and the bond that we form with the horses, and the hours we put in and them trying to, help us out and do what they do. And I think people sometimes don't understand the bond a horse trainer has with some of his horses. And, that's for sure. That's going to take a little bit of time to get over, but I have no doubt, knowing you, I have no doubt that, you're going to bounce back and be as good as ever.
I appreciate that. And you're 100% right. That is the most difficult part. We spend so much time with these creatures, and anybody, I would like to consider myself a horseman, and the passion is there for me personally. And it is a tough pill to swallow. The hardest part is the fact that, there's nothing you can do. That was the part, there was nothing that you could do. But I think there's things to be learned out of it too. Make sure you are up to date with all your insurance stuff and, codes on your barns. And there's things that we could take out of this unfortunate situation. I know I need to, if I build a new barn, I'm going to do some things different. This facility was built very well by Clinton, but it's a little bit of older building. So, there's things to be learned in every situation. So I hope this helps somebody in some way, this unfortunate circumstance. Does that make sense? So
it makes a ton of sense. Gunny and I were just talking. We talked for 10 minutes yesterday about the things that we're gonna do in our own barns, and it for sure got a lot of people's attention.
Yeah, and I hope it does. And if anybody wants to talk to me about it, I'm not somebody. I'll be glad to talk about it. I'm trying to handle it as good as I can, as optimistically as I can, and I will continue to try to do that. Obviously, with great support and stuff. But yeah, anything I can do to help anybody, man, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Well, we appreciate you jumping on the call and just visiting with us for a minute. So anything else you want to add? Or
I definitely wish you were calling to interview me for winning the futurity, but this will anything I can do.
That's still open.
Yeah,
that's still an option.
I hope so, gentlemen. But no, I appreciate it, and I just want to thank. There are no words for the people that have reached out and helping us financially with TAC. It would literally blow your mind. And we're a part of an incredible industry, the NRHA, with the crisis fund and everything. This is this is no joke. It's something that we should all be very proud of, and I know I am gracious and appreciative to know about. So I just want to I can never thank everybody individually, so I'm thanking everybody right now. I mean, you know who you are, and we're very grateful. So
Well, like we told you before, or like when you and I had this conversation earlier, I mean, I think you reap what you sow, and you've been a good friend to so many people, and treat everybody so well. I think that's why it comes back like it does in this fashion.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you.
So you have a good night, and take care of yourself.
You
And
too. Have an old fashioned for me, guys. Thank you.
If
We'll
if you need something, you call us. Don't be afraid.
Hey, I appreciate it, Gunny. Thanks again.
all right, take care.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
That's just typical Brandon talking about how he can help people.
Yeah. No, probably doing better than I would be doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
in the same situation.
Just trying
So
to be positive and find something good in it.
No, and I mean, he still feels,
tough.
you can hear there's some guilt for the customers losing the horses there, but it's not anybody's fault. He did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, and like you said, there's nothing you could have done, and it happened.
he
that
did
fast,
nothing
and-
wrong. They tried to do everything they could. So,
How many horses did it end up being?
45.
45.
Oh, okay. Because first reports it was like 80, right?
yeah, I've seen some places on Facebook where it said
100.
100,
Yeah,
and
Gotcha.
I mean
so
everybody.
45.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Luckily, there was a 20 stall mare motel off to the side that it didn't get touched, and the two 3-year-olds that were in the wash rack, but everything else there was no chance.
Yeah.
are we gonna post in the comments? Can we post the links or?
We'll post the links of all the sites that have set up to donate for Brandon, Eric Priest. They have a couple GoFundMe's, and then there's some internet auction sites, and then there's some.
And Brandon talked about being able to help some of the people that worked for him because they lost everything.
That's what
Their
I
apartments
think
were
is-
in the barn.
Like I know
and-
Julia lost. Like when I went yesterday, Kelsey sent a bunch of clothes that I mean, there's so much stuff there that when you live in the apartment, it's no different than your house. I mean, you got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything they own, pretty much.
And her dog.
Oh, lost her dog too. Oh,
They're not sure if it got loose and ran away, but
probably not.
you just don't know. I mean, it's.
How many people and were they all workers?
So I know Julia lived there for sure. Kind of think there was another girl, but that I need to find out for sure. But
We can find that out for sure. Maybe set up individual GoFundMe pages for the couple of the employees. Get them a little bit of money.
I think children's gonna have something at the Derby.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
they got stuff set up for
Yeah,
them.
I think they got some stuff going.
yeah,
Yeah, Cinch is gonna send some stuff. I know for sure. So, yeah, it's a shit. This isn't our normal show, boys. We're usually up here joking and laughing and not giving a shit. But tonight it's
it's real. I mean, like I said, when you see grown men cry, you know it's real. I mean, it was. To be honest with you, he handled it way better than I probably could have. I mean.
well, I honestly can't even I can't let my mind go there. I asked Mandy earlier. I said, did we have anything that we sold up there? Because even after I sell one, I still have that
You're connected.
connection, Yeah, I don't want anything bad to happen to him, and you just hope, like you said earlier, you just hope it went fast.
Yeah.
And
From what Dr. Vern Dryden said it wouldn't. It probably took less than a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, with the smoke,
The smoke.
Yeah.
The smoke, and I think. Yeah, it's very fortunate that nobody was, killed everybody was out of the barn, and because I think if you were in it, I don't think you were getting out. I think it was that quick, and from the videos they showed me, I don't think you would have been able to see.
Yeah.
It was that.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's just, it doesn't even look like like, it's almost, if you didn't know what you're looking at, you couldn't figure
tell.
it. It's like, it looks like a campfire the next morning.
Did you take that video that they posted online earlier today? I saw one today and they were driving around. It
Yeah,
was like you
somebody
said,
drove around.
it was just a mess. Just nothing. You couldn't, like you said, you couldn't tell it was a training facility.
The big beams in the middle of the arena was just, that's mind-boggling to me. It was that hot.
Yeah. And that's red iron.
That it could do that. And, the crazy thing is, it's just crazy what burns and what doesn't. I mean, there was fuel tanks right next to the barn.
I saw that.
Oh, really?
They didn't even, I mean, nothing. It's very odd. There was grain that didn't burn.
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense. Like I said, I think if you try to figure out the whys, it'll never.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No,
and
Drive you crazy.
There is no reason why. It was just an accident. It's just a horrible accident. There's no meaning to it.
Yeah.
All we can do now is support Brandon and support everybody that got hurt.
And he is going to think, well, what if? What about? What if this?
For sure.
What if that? What if? I mean, that's going to go through his mind.
Anybody would.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said you think he had a couple of 3-year-olds that made it.
2 got loose. The 2 that he had ridden that morning, they were in the cross ties getting iced, and
Yeah, but he had his own personal horses in there, and
he don't have any horses anymore.
as a horse trainer myself that invests in my own horses, that would be financially crippling to me. I mean, me and Alan went golfing with a banker one time, and he said he had 10% of his portfolio invested, and the rest of it was kind of in savings. Like he just invested 10% of it in like hired. We invest everything into horses.
Yeah.
90% of my income is turned back into this very not.
Crazy business.
Yeah, but it's not a sound investment.
No.
I mean, it's a gamble. It's very much a high stakes investment.
Yeah.
And Brandon lost his. I mean, Brandon lost his future income with those animals, his future.
Yeah, and when you're talking, he told me he had 2-year-olds that he thought that he owned that he thought were, 2 of the best ones that he's ever had.
Those are 6-figure horses.
Yeah, no doubt.
High 6 figures.
High 6-figure horses.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so. It's something insurance isn't going to cover. That's something. Hopefully, he can find a way to find another one and rebuild. But
Well, he'll make more horses. I mean, like you said, he's so talented, and I mean,
At the end
let's
of the
be honest with you. Every horse he's made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got the gift. So, like I told him, I said, you're gonna make new horses. It just sucks that you had good ones and now you're starting over. I mean, win the first go around at the 100X, and literally was just talking to the guy who's partners or who owns the horse. And man, they better be ready for me at the Derby, and look up and it's gone.
Yeah.
he also made a good point on his phone call that we missed touching on, and that's the Reining Horse Foundation. We're lucky in the NRHA that we do have a group of business people, smart people at the helm of a foundation that raises a lot of money for times like this. People, some horse trainers can't afford insurance. Some horse trainers are just getting by month to month. Well, man, when something like this happens, that Reining Horse Foundation would step in
And have such a group of people and a group of members that are so willing to give. Because, we've all sit around at those auctions and seen things sell for way more than they were supposed to.
And then resell. They sell
And
it,
then,
give it back,
and then
sell
they give it
again.
back and sell it again. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
That's the biggest lesson that I've learned. There's so many great people. I mean, we're very fortunate to be surrounded with good people.
yeah.
And you also learn that the people that aren't good, they're not worth any time of thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many good people that you can surround yourself, and unfortunately, you don't see it to this degree unless it's a tragedy, But
Yeah.
there's my phone's been going like crazy. What can we do? What's he need? And It's a lot. I mean, the hard thing is you don't really know what you need. I mean, I think he's going to get so much tack, but just think of all the other stuff that you have in your barn that if you went through, you wouldn't itemize it just because it kind of serves no importance, but
he's going to
you have to have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pitchforks, feed scoops, electrical
Hoof
tape,
picks.
hoof pick.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you go to grab some. Oh, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have
I
it.
mean, just think. Yeah.
He's going to get a disproportionate amount of things,
Yes.
you know, that he doesn't need, and you know, maybe he sends them on to somebody else that needs them, or you know, sells them and
He's
does whatever
end
he
up
wants.
giving a lot of that stuff away. He's a good-hearted guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna give some
What's
stuff away.
What's really neat is like I made some phone calls to Pards and Professional's Choice, and I know Cinch is stepping up, and Equibrand. It's really neat to see those companies not even bat an eye. What do you need? I mean, that's pretty special to me. I mean, and not only that, but all the other people that, you know, like I had phone calls last night. We want to help. How do we help? Yeah. And then the next day, it's done already.
Yeah, my wife told me that Paul Taylor's gonna accept accounts, people that want to buy him stuff, and they're gonna sell the stuff at a highly discounted rate. So they're not making any money off.
Yeah,
anybody.
even if they just want to donate money, I mean, there's so much stuff there. I mean, water buckets. Just like I said, the stuff that you had to go through your barn and itemize it. You wouldn't do it because.
And that's the stuff that we see. The GoFundMe, you know, Dave Williams giving him $55,000 from a spa. That's the stuff we see. What we don't see is I have clients. I had a couple clients today. We do the weekly email, and I had clients today that didn't know about it, that saw it on the weekly email. They're sending them checks direct.
Yeah.
I mean, and how much of that is going on that we
sure.
don't even see? So it's amazing. It's I think it's awesome. It's great for Brandon. There's no amount of money. If you would have said, "Hey, Brandon, we'll give you $20 million to throw a match in there,"
No way.
wouldn't have done it. You know, so there's
He
no
would've-
amount of
He
money.
would have tackled the person with the match and got rid of him.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's no amount of money that makes this okay, or makes it better, or makes you sleep at night, or makes you ever forget what you saw.
it's always going to be a tragedy for
Yeah.
him. No matter how much he gets out of it, it's always going to be a tragedy.
I'm sorry, but even if it was horses that you didn't like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If it was a barn full of horses you didn't like just as an animal lover,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
you're still the caretaker.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's
And
tough. I mean, if you're passionate about animals, and like the first thing he said is, man, they didn't deserve this.
yeah, for sure. And they rely on you for everything.
For sure.
And they're in that situation, and it's it is just what it is. It's an accident, and I know Brandon is a highly competitive guy, and grew up playing hockey, played hockey at a high level, and played junior hockey at a high level, played college hockey, transformed that competitiveness into the reining horse business, and this is going to be another challenge and another thing that he has to fight through, and he'll do it. I mean, the fire can take away his livestock. It can take away his building. It's not going to take away his talent. So,
Or his will.
or his will.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I just think it's very important that, if you're driving, just reach out and talk to them. I mean, I think you really rely on people to help you get through these situations. And I know me, I'm a quiet person. I don't really like to talk to a lot of people, but I feel like in this situation, sometimes you just need somebody to vent to and talk to. I mean, you're going to have probably more bad days in the beginning than good days, but I mean, I know for me, like when my grandpa died, Brandon was one of the first people that called me every 2 or 3 times a week. Just, I mean, there's.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the immediate support is overwhelming. It's going to be the support that kind of dwindles now. That it's going to be hard on him. He's going to need. He's going to need you to call him every other week now, or twice a week. He's going to need all of his friends.
I talk to him every day.
Yeah, he's gonna continue to need that.
If you don't answer right away, he's going to call you right back.
You know what? I didn't answer my phone twice for this guy, and he called me. He was chewing my butt because I didn't answer. My phone was plugged in, And he turned because I normally answer my phone, one ring. And he
Brant,
just yelled at me.
if he-
Just
if you don't-
yesterday, day before yesterday,
If
he
you
yelled
don't-
at me.
You don't answer right away, he'll call you back. You mad at me? No,
Yeah, right.
No, I was stopping. Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's only one Brandon, but you know what? You need people like that in your corner, and
Yeah.
you find out who your friends are. I mean, you really do. But it's neat to see everybody. It's neat to see even people that aren't reiners coming together, just horse lovers. And I mean, I think the GoFundMe is. So right now it's been up for 2 days. I think it's like 275,000 or 200. It's over 250. I know Cooper's working on that, and I'm actually pretty excited to see all the stuff that's put in that, because I mean, there's weeks stay in Maui, and
Oh yeah. No, Coop was
mean,
telling us about that. He
it-
said
he-
this Airbnb in Maui
it's just
is
incredible
awesome.
the amount of people that reach out.
And let's not forget, I mean, it's not just about, you don't have to be a donator. You can be a buyer too, you know?
For
I mean,
sure.
anybody buying any of that stuff is,
For sure.
Yeah, the Airbnb in Maui looked pretty good. So, but no, Coop was on the phone this morning. We were looking at horses. I mean, his phone was ringing nonstop, like nonstop. It was. He said he was getting calls from everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper's always that person right
Yeah.
in the middle of it, steps
Yeah.
up, and whenever he can throw a limb to somebody, he's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
there. And it's
well, and Coop has the connections
For
to
sure.
get things done,
Yeah.
you know?
and
I mean,
right away. I mean,
yeah,
you don't
for
waste
sure.
any time. And it's really cool to see, like, Paul Taylor's and, like I said,
Everybody.
Professional's Choice, anybody. I mean,
Everybody.
Everybody. I mean, there's so much stuff. If you went through your barn and started actually looking, you wouldn't even realize half the stuff that you have. And, you need that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Electrical tape, I mean.
No, I looked on the Amazon wish list, and it was cinches, hoof picks, buckets, all that little stuff, like you said, that you don't even think about.
Yeah, I mean, sheets. I mean, how many sheets would it take to supply your barn? You know what I mean? That's stuff that it all costs money. I mean, but you don't realize you have half that stuff until it's not there and you need it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Well,
We
I
got
don't think we need to. We
Yeah.
can cut the show a little short today. I think. I mean, we just wanted to update everybody and let
and give Brandon,
Brandon
an
the
opportunity.
opportunity.
He wanted to thank everybody on a massive scale. So
like people have been calling, asking, what can I do? Anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know what supplies to buy, send money, because
I would think at this point, money is the best thing you can do.
Whether it's to pay the help to keep them around. I mean,
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
got great help, you're going to do whatever you can to keep them. But
Yep.
that's hard to do with 20 horses.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, I mean, the amount of income they had coming in and what they're going to come in is way different. And, I know Brandon, he's going to take care of everybody first. So, that's what I tell people. Money is probably the most important thing that you can probably send right now.
All right. Well, Kole, thanks for coming and sharing.
yeah,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
having me.
updating us,
Yep.
dude.
Yep.
Sorry that it had to be the Cole Price episode, but Brandon probably appreciates it very much.
And we've had you here a couple times before. So.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.